Hi everyone, just some words of chizuk or encouragement from this week's Torah portion. We are reading Parshas Pinchas, and the Parsha begins by telling us that there was a magifa, a plague that was going through the Jewish people because they had been doing some pretty bad sinning out there in the desert. And then this man, Pinchas, came along and committed this act of zealousness in the name of God, which you can find out more about if you visit www.torah.org. They have this really neat place where they take the portion from the Torah, they break it down into each one of the 7 aliyot, or the 7 times that people get called up to read from the Torah, and give a brief synopsis of what happens in each one. It's really excellent. I highly recommend it. Anyways, after that, there is a counting of the Jewish people. And it's something very interesting that was pointed out by Rabbi Zachariah Wallerstein. I heard this on TorahAnytime.com, another amazing website that I highly recommend. And he explained like this. In this counting that we have in Parshas Pinchas, it sort of reminds us of a counting that happened once before in Sefer Bereshit, in the book of Genesis, in Parshas Vayigash, when Yaakov went down to Egypt with his family because there was the famine in the land of Canaan. So it counted all the people that went down with him, and it goes through each one of his sons and all their children. So his son Benjamin had 10 children, but his son Dan only had 1. So you would think that now when we come to Parshas Pinchas and we're counting up all the different people from each one of the Shvatim, each one of the tribes, that Binyamin would have so many more than Dan did. I mean, I'm not particularly good at math, but if you start with 10 and you start with 1, you should end up with 10 times more from the 10 than you should from the 1. I think, pretty sure. It's numbers, it's not my thing. But anyways, the truth is that when we look in the Parsha now, we see that Binyamin only had 45,000 descendants, whereas Dan had 64,000 descendants. And that's a pretty big discrepancy. And what's the encouragement that we can take out of this? That just because something starts small doesn't mean that that's the way it will end. Dan started from 1, Binyamin started from 10, and yet Dan exploded and turned into so much more. Sometimes we think that the things that we do are really insignificant, but the truth is we have no idea where it's going to go or how it's going to end. If we judged everything that the start was the way it was going to end, Apple wouldn't be what it was at all. When Steve Jobs started, he created some things that people weren't particularly into. He had to go bankrupt and start all over again. If his ending, if he had thought to himself, well, my ending is going to be the same as my beginning, he would have closed up shop and nobody would be as addicted to their phones as they are right now. Okay, so maybe that would have been a sort of good thing, but I digress. The point is, that smile that you give to someone in the morning, you think it's so small, but you have no idea how big it is. Maybe you only have $1 in your pocket to be able to give for tzedakah. It seems like it's nothing, but it could be a big difference in somebody else's life. No matter where you're starting from, remember that it's just a start. And from some very humble beginnings have come some very, very big things. And I'm pretty sure you're one of them. Shabbat Shalom.